Yo, it's boy Marcus and Wesley back with a video. Today we're going to be talking about the absence of COD Ghost maps from COD Mobile and whether or not they should or shouldn't come back, which ones should, which ones should not, and the whole reasoning behind why some should and some should. Because like all COD games, there are some ugly ducklings, right? And then there are some shining lights. And in COD Ghosts, it is no different. There are some of the worst maps ever made in this game, in any game ever. Like, if you're talking about worst maps ever, I mean, this game has a couple of them. Like, they're terrible. So we're gonna talk about those. I'm gonna discuss a couple of the bangers, right? If you're clicking on this video, you probably saw the thumbnail and you're like, hey, that's Michael Myers and that's the Predator. Well, they were in COD Ghosts. That's how great some of these maps were. And I'm not saying these should come back to ranked, but they should just come back to the game as temporary maps because they just had so many awesome features to them, and it would be pretty exciting to be playing as Michael Myers in COD Mobile and the Predator in COD Mobile. I'm just saying. So with that being said, we'll cover Favela. That was already in a previous COD game, but it's the only map that's in COD Mobile and also in COD Ghosts, but it's not our COD Ghosts original map, so we're not going to talk about that too much. Freefall at the time, I believe, was a paid, like, you paid $5 for that map and you got it, and it was a real small map. But what made it cool was it was a dynamic map, and that happened to a lot of maps in COD Ghosts where there would be dynamic aspects of the map. So the map would just start shaking out of nowhere, right? Shaking all over the place while you're playing the game of Call of Duty. So it was pretty crazy and not something we had really seen at the time. So it was like a new feature where these maps were interactive in Call of Duty. It's pretty crazy. Chasm was huge. It's one of the ugly ducklings of this game, and don't want that back in COD Mobile. Chasm was terrible. Siege, also terrible. They were just too big. Both of them were just massive maps. You would literally spawn up somewhere in these maps and be like, I've never even been here before. I've played this map like 20 times. That's how big these maps were. Now we got Sovereign. Sovereign was actually in the competitive scene for COD Ghosts, but that doesn't mean it was a good map. I thought it was kind of whatever. I mean, I only know what it is because it was in competitive. If it wasn't, then I would never have known. You know what I mean? I did play COD Ghosts, so I would have known, but you get my point. Stonehaven, massive map, probably one of the biggest maps of all time, up there with Siege and Chasm. Behemoth was a DLC map. Don't remember too much about it because a lot of DLC maps, I just don't remember them. So Behemoth, Collision, Containment, Dynasty, Gold Rush. I don't remember too much about these maps. I played all the DLC in every COD game up until recently. So I'm pretty aware of the DLC maps, but these were ones I don't remember too well. I have to actually look at them again to remember them. So I'm not sure if these should really come back. A lot of times DLC maps aren't necessarily like an ideal competitive map anyway. They would just be good maps to bring back for fun, which we will discuss here in a second. Then we got Ignition, Overlord. These were a couple of just mid maps. Prison Break was huge. That was the biggest problem with that map, but it was fun to play. I feel like for a big map, I actually enjoyed Prison Break. I saw somebody in the video recently slandering it, and I don't blame them. I'm just saying, like, Infection on Prison Break was actually pretty fun. Or Infected, you know what I mean, where one guy gets infected and he has to infect everybody else essentially. And then once you get infected, now you join him. Stormfront, another massive map in the rain, and it was just, oh man, that was, you need to do long shots, you go on that map especially, because that one was easy to do them on, but you could go on like any of these maps, they're so big. Sub-Zero and Unearthed, I don't remember too much about them. Unearthed I do remember a little bit about, but they were also like not original COD Ghost maps, they were DLC, so not a big deal there. And Whiteout was a big, huge, massive snowy map. Not a lot of good things about it, to be honest with you. But that kind of ends all the duds. We're going to get into the good ones now. And we're going to start talking about Ruins, right? So if you clicked on this, you saw Ruins. That's the Predator map, right? So it's like a Mayan temple or something. And the Predator is like a call-inable field order at the time. Like if you killed somebody, they drop a briefcase. You pick it up, do that briefcase, and then you can call in the Predator, which was awesome because the Predator was brokenly overpowered. It was like having 3 specialists in one. It was awesome. Strike Zone, that's basically Dome, but reskinned. But we already have Dome in COD Mobile, so it would just be a reskin of that. But it would be pretty cool. It's very similar to that map layout, though. Bayview. Bayview is one of the most beautiful maps of all time. Never will get the credit for it, but Bayview is phenomenal. It's like right on the coastline. it's just a beautiful map. It has like a trolley running through it. It's pretty dope. Departed also had like a call-inable field order as well. I don't think maybe it gave you all the perks in the game, which Ghost had a ton of perks. That might have been Pharaoh though that did the same thing. They kind of had the same idea. Departed had some sort of call-inable streak though that was really cool. That's why I wrote it in my good column, because I really like Departed map layout too. I dropped a chem strike on that map back in the day. Sorry for all the nostalgia. Fog, if you clicked on this video, you saw Fog. That was the Michael Myers map. So you do the same thing, complete like a little task after you picked up a briefcase, and you would get Michael Myers, and you'd be insanely fast and very hard to kill, which was pretty dope. And then the Michael Myers music would start playing. So really awesome feature that they had back in the day that they just don't do anymore. I don't know why. We got Beavis and Butthead collabs, and we got Saw collabs. Why can't I get a Saw map? You know what I mean? That'd be fire. That's all I'm saying. Freight was a competitive map in that game. It was solid, but I mean not their best work, but you know, it worked. Mutiny was another awesome map. I was thinking about putting that in the thumbnail, but people wouldn't recognize it as well. So Mutiny was like, you would get the call in like field order, man, and it would just start putting out like ghost pirates everywhere, like that would go kill everybody, like raps in COD Mobile, but they were pirates that would run around. The better way to describe them, if you play console, would be Black Ops 4 Strike Team, but it was like 5 or 6 of them, and they would go kill people. Then you got Octane, probably the best competitive map in COD Ghosts. Phenomenal map. Pharaoh was like in Egyptian desert map, and it did have the field order where if you got it done, you would get all the perks on the map, and you'd become like pretty much a super soldier. You were just unkillable at that point. If you died with that, it was your own fault. But a great, unique map, man. That was something about this game, man. They just had a lot of unique maps with Pharaoh and Fog and Ruins, Departed, Mutiny. These were all super unique. Showtime was actually like a Shipment remake, I believe, and it was slightly bigger than that, but it had like all kinds of interactive elements and like interactive chem strikes and all these like nukes, sentry guns everywhere. It was really unique, cool idea. Not necessarily the best map ever, but a unique idea, and that's something we could use. Tremor and Warhawk are our last two maps from that game, and Warhawk was a phenomenal competitive map. Just an overall great map, one of the greatest maps we've ever had, in my personal opinion, and probably the best map in this game. And then Tremor was just kind of a mid-tier, I guess, map, but I really enjoyed it myself, so I felt like I would put it in there. It wasn't the best, but it was notable, and I thought I would add it in. That being said, kind of a rundown of all the Ghost maps, what I think should come back, what was good, what was bad. Here's the class setup for the Odin. This gun's broken. Give it a shot. If you haven't, I don't know what you've been doing, because this gun's been broken for a while. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts. What COD Ghost map you want to see come back to Call of Duty Mobile. It's been your boy Marcus Morcini. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.